A few months ago, Steve Martin and Clyde Pilkington shared a vision and a need. To take the next step in this growing work, we needed $30,000 to bring on an office assistant. Someone to come alongside Clyde, carry part of the daily load, and free him to focus on what might be his most significant contribution yet, the Study Bible Project. Well, we're thrilled to report we've reached that goal. Because of your generosity, prayer, and belief in this work, we're ready to begin the hiring process. And not just for any position, but for a unique role that supports the kind of life-changing ministry that's been impacting people for decades. To help explain where we are and where we're going, Steve recently sat down with Clyde to discuss this exciting project. They talked about why this is the right time, what kind of help is needed, and why this next chapter matters so much.
Well, I tell you, it's exciting. You know, we know that Father wrote all our stories before the disruption of the world, and we're just living them. But every day is a discovery. You know, we're discovering what God wrote today. You know, some 16 months ago, you and I sat down and first talked about these concepts. My desire and passion and dream to have a study Bible, and talk about that more in a few minutes. But and it's amazing. And then I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 months ago, we actually put this forth, this desire and vision for what we could do together, how people could help me and how we could help each other and reach this as a reality. And God's graciousness and kindness through the saints who have sacrificially and graciously stepped up, that we can get started. So first of all, you know, why it's a good time is we have the initial resources to pay someone to assist me and assist us in this work, to free me up to focus heavily on a study Bible. And so a part of why this is the right time is financially it's the right time. But also for me personally, it's the right time. From about the end of October to about the end of March every year, for whatever reason, and it's always been this way, those are the busiest months for our work here. The busiest times of orders and outreach and so forth. Perhaps as the weather calms down and people's schedules calm down, but anyway, and so up to this point, not only financially but also just my load, it would have been very difficult to have an assistant to work with and train, and so now we have some finances in place, and now I have a little more time that I could devote to someone who would love to partner with me, partner with us, and have devote some of their life to something that has lasting impact. So I think it's a great time to get started.
So what kind of work do you do, and why is this assistant position so crucial?
Yeah, I'll tell you, you know, at this point in our ministry that has just grown and grown, the interest and the outreach and all the things that we're involved in, they're nearly too much to do. And even with the many people who have stepped up voluntarily, and we have multiple people, yourself and Andre and others who work diligently and spend many, many hours a week helping with this work. And there's still more to be done than there is those who can do the work. And so just from that standpoint, for this work to move forward in a general way, we need more help. But if this passion and this desire, this vision for a study Bible is ever going to be accomplished, I really am going to need to step back from a lot of the direct involvement in that every day so that I can focus on getting this study Bible underway and getting it produced. So this assistant would be helping me do the things that I've been doing, that I do normally day in and day out, and freeing me and even working with me, depending on the person, and working with me to get this work continuing to move forth and getting this study Bible project started.
So, what are some of the tasks or responsibilities that you'd be most excited to pass off to someone new?
Yeah. Well, my daily life is filled with just the operation of the work that we do here. First of all, we have two periodicals that we produce. One is a daily periodical. We call it the Daily Email Goodies. It involves daily quick quotes. It involves a excerpt from some author. It involves a book of the day. It involves a video of the day. And this daily periodical has to be generated. And I'm a big factor in that, and Andre's a big factor in getting that completed. Then there's the weekly periodical. We have the Bible Student's Notebook, and same with it. It's got to be, those just don't appear. And so a lot of work involved in those. And then just the day-to-day operation here of the office and the ministry. In addition to those things, we have, our publishing work here. We have about 600 titles at the moment, but work compiling articles from the past BSNs for new articles, work in scanning books and materials that need to be faxed. Then there's the distribution part that goes on every day. Every day, books are being ordered, and they need to be pulled, they need to be packaged, they need to be restocked. All of that kind of operation, just things about maintaining the mailing list and just the general operation, keeping mailing supplies here and so forth. YouTube's become, thanks especially to you, generating lots of new material. YouTube's become take some portion of every day. Uploading new videos, creating the notes for the videos, creating video links of common material, responses, which are not happening mostly, responses to people who are posting, that kind of thing. General connection with people, answering emails, answering phone calls, taking orders on the phone. Just it's endless, the work that happens here. And what happens is, most of this stuff is a pressing priority for the day. For instance, orders and phone calls and emails and all this stuff. And it pushes back study time, and it pushes back new material, because that all takes time, and especially this study Bible project. And so, and I'll tell you, for the right person, I love it all. I love nearly everything I do. Maybe not accounting things too well, but I love everything. I love every aspect, and I can't help but think that there's, that Father has written someone who would love the life of the office here and being an assistant, who would find great fulfillment and would have a great passion and wake up, every morning thinking, oh, can't believe I get to do this. And I can't help but think that that's, obviously Father wouldn't write some person who would come here in drudgery. So to me, this person would, would find great joy and satisfaction in having a lasting impact and partnering with me and the rest of our partners in getting this work accomplished.
So talk about the setting a little bit, what it would mean to come there and work, and the people that are there and all that.
Yeah, we're in a discovery period. We're about to discover who this person is. But one of the things here is our office, our ministry and offices and warehouse and so forth are all right here in office space in our home. So one of the things that is the atmosphere here is, of course, anybody who would work here and have any understanding of truth would be in a first of all in an atmosphere of fellowship and atmosphere of camaraderie. But the family's here, and for those who know our family is very thankful to God, is very gracious and kind, and we have wonderful family support here. And whoever worked here would just be an extension of that. They just, in some ways, they're just going to be an extension of the family, and they just get to be in the middle of their love. They get, in the middle of their work, they would be loved and supported and encouraged and cared for. Probably all of us have worked somewhere in our lifetime that it was, the work. Maybe the worst part of working was, the environment and who we had to work with. And so, first of all, we have that. And depending on, who this person is, and we're very flexible, we have to be because God's writing this story. So we have to be flexible to who he wrote this story for. Again, we're discovering who that is. But depending on the person's need, we even have, at the moment, we have 2 apartments here that are a part of the house, that have their own entrance, their own kitchens, their own bathrooms, bedrooms, and so forth. So depending on who this person is, they may even live here, next door, and be able to have as a part of their, their salary, if you want to call it that. A part of their salary could even be a place to live, but a place to live that's right next, be an ease of getting to work, and ease of staying connected in fellowship and with family. So, and again, all depending on who God's written into this role. Obviously, he supplied the finances, so it would seem he must have already wrote this person.
What kind of skills or experience would make someone really shine in this job?
First of all, we'll say, and one of the reasons we're making this video of updating this project, letting people know where we are. Well, first of all, because of those who've supported us. And I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and told me, that they are so encouraged about what we're planning. And then people who have contributed very faithfully, small amounts, every, they've just been very faithful in small amounts. And then some people who've just given tremendous amounts. And either way, this is an update to them that, yes, we are making progress and we're moving forward. But also one of the reasons we're making this recording is that we have in mind that maybe someone's going to watch this and start thinking about, we could be talking about you, that you're the person that God wrote for this. So, more. So what kind of skills? Well, I think the biggest skill would be the heart and passion to do this. Personally, if you had the heart and passion and have an ability to learn, I think you could do on-the-job training. But obviously, the kind of things that we need: organizational skills, the ability to see and understand a project and follow it through. We use Word. We use Microsoft products, Word, Excel. We deal with mailing lists and spreadsheets of different kind. And, we use, Andre uses InDesign to create publications. There's so much. And, when I talk about support, Andy, Andre Snyder, he's as overloaded as I am. There's so many more and perhaps better suited to him things that he could do if we had more help. So this help in the office includes helping me and helping him. And so the ability to already, I mean, if someone comes to the table already understanding software and is proficient in it, then that'd be a big start in the right direction. But mainly, if someone had the passion and the ability to learn things, uh, I've had many people who said to me, I wish I lived close to you, because I'd help you with your plumbing, or I'd help you tote out the trash, or I'd help you cut the lawn or paint or something. And all those things are wonderful, but we're actually looking for someone who, in this case, is either already has the understanding and ability, or knows that they have the ability to learn the tools we need to just carry on the work here.
You said before this isn't just a job. You've talked about that, but it's part of something bigger. What is the bigger vision?
And this is more than just a job, And I don't know, again, we're in the discovery stage, so we don't know who God chose, And you've even, Steve, you've even opened my mind that, it's not out of the question that it is just somebody locally who has abilities and that could come in and be integrated here. But it is more than a job. And because we are doing some life-changing work here. And we understand God wrote that. We understand God's the one who's doing this. But this is about a vision, and it's about sharing truth with other people. And for a person of faith, and this could be a work of tremendous value and tremendous worth and tremendous encouragement to the person involved. And what we're doing, we're at this stage in our ministry. We have 43. We're on our 43rd volume of the Bible Student's Notebook, and which each contain 25 BSN issues. We're talking about a enormous amount of resources and material we have. We have many, many books that support this. So we have a lot of material. The idea is, one of the passions I have, how do we make a lasting impact out of this? And so one way that I see the greatest impact will be is in this study Bible. And if we can filter all these things all these glorious truths that we've learned, in the last few decades, and if we can filter all these wonderful authors and all the life of their studies, and we can filter them into one main place. The goal is to have a study Bible that focuses on 5 primary things. And it would be a word by word, especially at the beginning. We're going to start with Ephesians and Colossians, Philippians, Philemon, those last epistles that Paul wrote. We're going to focus there and start there. And then as this Bible unfolds, as the material's created, we'll put it in the Bible Student's Notebook. As a book is done, we'll release the book. It'll be a study Bible for Ephesians. And then as all Paul's post-Acts epistles are finished, then they'll be combined. A study Bible for the secret administration epistles. And then we'll just work our way out. We'll work our way throughout Paul's other epistles. And the further we work out, the less intense the details of the study Bible will be. They will be more survey-like because they're not our mail. They are not the epistles so they will more in a survey way. But these initial epistles are going to take a long time, and I am excited to deal with them. And they're going to cover 5 major things that have never taken place in a study Bible. And the first emphasis is going to be on the absolute sovereignty of God. No wiggle room. We believe that God is absolutely sovereign down to the molecules, and that Out of him is all things, through him is all things, and back to him is all things. This study Bible will relentlessly be focusing and emphasizing those truths because the scriptures do. This truth of the sovereignty of God is hard, you can't escape it hardly in any passage. The next thing that this study Bible is going to focus on is the salvation of all. God has a grand conclusion for his entire creation. God is not going to lose anything he ever made. He has a passion for, a longing for everything he made. So that'll be the second great emphasis. The third great emphasis is the nature of God's fatherhood. God is ultimately more than anything else. He's our Father. Paul presents him as the God and Father of all. And so we'll constantly be every verse, every word and phrase where we can see this character of God, because this character of God is diminished in most ministries and most work. God is distant and he's uninvolved. So we'll be focusing on that. That's the third thing. So then the fourth thing we'll be focused on is right division, correctly partitioning the word of truth. The Bible, even if you understand the absolute sovereignty of God, you understand the salvation of all, you understand the true nature of God as Father, the Bible will be a complete chaotic mess if you don't correctly partition it. And in fact, most of the truths we already discussed will be veiled and hard to understand if we can't understand who's writing, who's being spoken to, what is the context, what is the administration, what's being dispensed. And this will be a constant reminder in this study Bible. And then finally, the great emphasis of this Bible will be on a literal, accurate translation, offering variant renderings, a study of Greek words, notes that dig deep into the meaning of key words. And so I can't even imagine what it would have been like to have something like this when I was a young man, and ultimately, something else we could throw in here. This is really a freedom Bible because all these things lead to freedom. Most people are in bondage because they're reading corrupt versions that have hid the freedom from people. Most people are in bondage because they don't rightly divide, they don't correctly cut, and they're following scriptures that don't even belong to them that have them in bondage. They don't have freedom because they don't know God's their daddy, and they don't have freedom because they don't know God's got a great plan that's successful and includes everyone. They don't have freedom and peace and joy and love, grace, because they don't know God's absolutely in charge. Oh my goodness. So this is the passion. And whoever's coming's helping. They're helping. They're either helping by carrying on the daily activity, and these people can, this person can be involved as much as they have the ability, and any help we get.
This person, and the donors and the people that have an interest, we're all equal partners in this.
Yes, we are. We're partners.
It's all important, because without the money not happening, without some assistance, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, we're all there. We're all part of it. And we're on an equal level. And,
and so this person we'd be holding hands. We'd be partnering together. And because there's no small part here. It's just everybody's doing what they're equipped to do, and it's about bringing someone in who could be equipped to help. If someone's made it this far in us giving this update, then obviously they must have some interest. And maybe this person that we're trying to discover is you. Can I speak directly to you? And here's what you need to know about our hearts about this matter, is that even though we can't help, and we do this in our daily lives. It says man purposes in his heart, but God directs his ways. We're always trying to figure out what God wrote. We're always trying to figure out how the day might go. So we try to envision in our mind what this assistant looks like, and they look exactly like whoever God wrote them to be. And you might be a man, you might be a woman, you might be single, you might be married, you might be married and no children, or married and an empty nester. You might be a grandparent. You could be anything. You know, you could be a mom. You could be a single mom. You could be a single dad. Um, you could have little practical experience in these things, but know in your heart that it's striking a chord with you and that you could do it. You could help. And again, it could be on the job training. You may be greatly skilled and come in with your feet on the ground running, and you yeah and you might and we you might be available and the circumstance be right that we have housing provided here for you. And if you're a single person or a single mother or father with children, in some ways this could be, we've thought about it and talked about it. This could even be amazing opportunity because you'd have family support here. What happens if you're a single parent and your children are sick and you have some things going on. This is an environment where we work together. We work together as a team. We work together as extended family. So if you've made it this far in this update and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if this could be me. Well, that's a good question. And so you should reach out to us. You should say to us, email. We'll put the email down below. Email me. Email us. Give us a call. Put some phone numbers down below. Reach out and say, I don't know. This sounds crazy in my mind. What I'm getting ready to say. That's what you can tell us. There's something I don't know. And you know what? We'll just talk about it. We'll just talk and see.
Or it could be someone that that is looking for something.
Yeah, but maybe you know someone. Maybe you know someone who, and again, sometimes we gravitate, Steve, when you and I are talking, we gravitate to thinking about a single mother who's struggling, being on her own, or even a single dad who's struggling, and he could just really use some family support and some love and something to do where she's not afraid of losing her job. She's not afraid that she can't handle her responsibilities, even with her children and herself, because we're talking about support here. We're talking about doing something together. So, as you're watching this video, maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody you know and love. We wanted to give this update, and we want to reach out to our community of fellowship and faith first. I mean, eventually we'll look for somebody in the neighborhood. We're just trying to discover, what God's planned, and He's supplied the resources, and now He's going to supply the person.
Well, I feel, as you shared your passion for the project, for the Study Bible project, I got kind of a renewed energy for it because of the just the influence it will have for years to come. We'll be dead and gone, and if all you ever get is those 4 epistles done in a book, that will
yes. I don't know how far I'll get.
Yeah, I mean, if we get that will be such a
my goodness
blessing.
That's my immediate goal.
All right. Well, we'd love to hear from you. Even if it's just you're interested in the project, or of course, continue to need funding, but especially, you know, if you feel this is something that you can do and you feel called to do, all the information will be down below. And we look forward to talking to you.
Yeah.